The day begins perfectly. Clear goals, tight schedule, everything planned. Then reality interrupts. A call runs long. One task slips. Pressure spreads. By afternoon, the system collapses. Tasks stack. Decisions rush. Energy disappears. Most people blame discipline. Usually, the schedule was too fragile to survive normal friction. Most schedules assume perfect conditions. No delays, no interruptions, no recovery space. On paper, that looks efficient. In reality, it creates brittleness. One small disruption forces compression across the entire day. Pressure compounds. Quality drops. The system turns reactive. The schedule was built for perfection, not adaptation. That is why productive mornings become chaotic afternoons. This is where most people freeze. But at Solver's Studio, we go to our toolkit, the Solver's 6. The tool here is pattern mapping, insight. Pattern mapping treats repeated collapse as system output. Instead of focusing on isolated mistakes, we map the sequence generating the failure. The question changes, not why am I failing, but what structural weakness activates every afternoon. That shift matters. We stop blaming ourselves. We start redesigning the system. First, identify the recurring failure point. Look at the last 10 days. When does the schedule consistently destabilize? For many people, it is mid-afternoon. That timing reveals something structural. Exhausted capacity, stacked cognitive load, no transition space between demanding tasks. Find the moment where pressure exceeds the system's ability to absorb friction. Focus on the weakness beneath the failed task. Next, map the reaction loop. Once delays appear, most people respond the same way. They rush, skip breaks, compress work, multitask. It feels productive. Usually, it accelerates collapse because the original flaw still exists, the assumption of zero friction. The panic response is not random, it's the system's error signal. Finally, redesign the structure. Once the pressure point becomes visible, resilience can be engineered deliberately. If collapse starts at 2 p.m., create protected buffer space before it, a 15-minute reset, a lower-intensity task block, a transition window with no commitments. This space is not inefficiency, it's structural stability. The buffer absorbs friction before the system destabilizes. Daily collapse is usually a resilience failure, not a discipline failure. Identify the recurring breakdown point, map the compensation loop, redesign the structure with intentional buffers. Pattern mapping replaces self-blame with system awareness. That's where stability begins. Consider someone whose afternoons collapse every day. They assume the issue is motivation. Pattern mapping reveals the real structure. Every afternoon contains back-to-back high-focus work with zero recovery space. The schedule guarantees exhaustion, so the system changes. Lower demand tasks move into the fatigue window. Recovery space gets added before the decline begins. The structure stabilizes, not because motivation improved, because the system stopped demanding perfection. When a schedule collapses, the real question is not, why did I fail? It is, why could this system not absorb normal friction? Reality will always interrupt. Strong systems expect it. Pattern mapping reveals the hidden architecture beneath repeated frustration. Once the structure becomes visible, the correction becomes obvious. We don't need perfect discipline. We need systems built to survive reality.